Hello there, men, and welcome to the Masculinism Movement channel, a place for men to be men and talk about masculinity and men's issues and rights. I'm your host, Brian Krall, and today I'm going to talk to you about how women are actually more aggressive, more violent, and more tyrannical leaders than men are. Have you ever heard feminists say that if the world was run by women, it would be more peaceful and there'd be no war? Because I sure have heard this from a lot of feminists. They love to talk about how the patriarchy is made up of toxic masculinity and these, oppressive patriarchal males are warmongers, and if they were replaced with women, the world would instantly become more peaceful, maybe even a utopia. But unfortunately, like with the domestic violence issues that I described in the last video, this is just manipulative propaganda. It is like a projection. And the truth is the opposite way around. You see, female violence isn't just confined to domestic situations, but for the same reason that it occurs in domestic situations, women are just more violent in general. They can get away with it in any situation because they are seen as less violent by nature. This means that women in general are able to behave more aggressively and violently towards men in order to oppress them. And women in power are more aggressive than their male counterparts. And female rulers wage war more frequently than male rulers do. For just as how society gives women permission to be abusers of men, they also allow for women to be tyrannical leaders and warmongers. And once again, I'm not here to just spout rhetoric at you and tell you to take my word for it. I have cited some sources for you below that proves this case. And the first one you will see is a link to Evie Magazine, a women's magazine, and an article written by a woman named Freya India, which says that history says that female leaders are more likely to wage war than men. So here we have a female journalist at a female publication covering this issue. So you women out there who are watching this and thinking, oh, this is just some oppressive patriarchal man, spouting hate speech about women. Well, don't take my word for it. Take another woman's. And take, the word of history. Like, this is about history. This is about facts and figures that can be accounted for through historical evidence. And we don't have to just take that one source's word for it either. I have another source cited for you below, which is an article from the dailymail.com, an even more reputable news source, which says that female rulers in the past 500 years have waged war more often than kings did. Researchers looked at the actions of European rulers from 1480 to 1913 and found that queens were more likely to wage war and try to win more territory and try to win more new territory than kings were. So the evidence is there. That proves that women are more aggressive, violent, and tyrannical leaders than men are. And having women in charge and living in a matriarchy ruled by women would not suddenly create a peaceful society and solve all conflicts, but rather the opposite. The evidence provided by history has shown that it would only cause us to have more conflict and wars, which leads to so many other social issues as well. But the female leaders just do not care. They don't care if they are causing whole societies to fall into ruin and be destroyed by them, or, if they're sending off so many male soldiers into battle just to die for their causes. Why would they care? Those are just men, and they are a queen. So we cannot believe the feminist rhetoric that women being in charge would make the world a better, more peaceful, and harmonious place and some sort of utopia, because it would actually be the opposite way around, and would just create more chaos and destruction and cause more men to fall into harm's way as well. But that is what women want, because they are gynocentric, and that is what is going to happen if we continue to live in a matriarchy. And these democratic female politicians who are actually these liberal extremist ideologues and warmongering tyrants who are trying to get involved in things like the Ukraine war just to try to profit off of it, even though it doesn't really affect us over here on this side of the world. This is the direction that we are going in with the matriarchal political structure that we are adopting due to feminism, and it is very scary stuff. So let's make sure we generate awareness on that. And otherwise, that concludes this talk. Thank you for listening. Be sure to share your own thoughts and opinions on female leadership and the possible aggressiveness of it by commenting below. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button and share these messages with everyone by sharing the video on social media and talking about these things too. And lastly, check out the links in the description below. Not just those two, but there's other resources for your masculine personal development and living the life you want to as an independent man. And stay tuned for the next video coming out soon, which will be on how women mistreat and manipulate men. And make sure you subscribe so you'll be notified when that is. Until then, take care of yourselves, men, because no woman out there is going to.